What on earth is going on in the twilight zone of hip-hop and love? Everyone. Because when Mendy notices, Harris begins to accuse Kirk Frost of being completely enamored with him. We've officially entered the realm of reality TV craziness. You? No, now stop. What grown married man with a full Rashida at home has the time to be reportedly constantly meddling in another man's affairs? Is Kirk trying to steal his place? Or is he taking notes? Because Mendy recently dropped a devious little bombshell that has the entire Frost home being side-eyed by fans, bloggers, and even Annie's church group. Is this only petty? Oh. Or is there some backroom scheming, industry-level hatred, and subtle jealousy going on? Why is Kirk supposedly monitoring Mendy? It appears that he's the personal FBI agent of VH1. More significantly, what precisely is he? So fixated on Stay On as what begins as a small romantic relationship and a hip-hop feud devolves into a complex web of eavesdropping, leaked messages, private direct messages, and a phone drama that will leave you reeling. Hold on tight, family. The kettle is screaming and this tea is boiling over. Shall we now delve into the core of the madness? Here's the thing then. Mendy observes that Harris isn't often the kind to get involved in drama on reality shows or in social media feuds merely for the attention. No, he's that awesome. After his time in prison, hip-hop attempted to portray this stay-in-his-lane family man as a figure of redemption. The man returned with the intention of concentrating on commercial endeavors. Making speeches, doing panel discussions about personal development, and becoming a better man. You know, I've changed. I now practice yoga and I've rebranded. Based on some fascinating rumors and a recent public comment that has the internet ablaze. It appears that Kirk Frost did not receive the message telling people to leave him alone. Mendy accuses Kirk outright of being enamored with him, uninterested and bothersome. We're having a serious conversation about why you're observing everything I do as if I were your baby and ex. The timing was perfect. This was hardly an unexpected development. Not at all. When Mendeecees made an unexpected, light-hearted guest appearance during the filming of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta Season 13, it all began to simmer. Show the guy some love and consider proposing a business partnership. Rather, the individual entered a monitoring system while wearing Kirk Frost's face. According to a source close to production, Kirk asked the producers, "Yo, is Mendy on this episode? What's he talking about? What's he promoting? Who's he hanging with? Like, sir, are you okay?" At first, the cast laughed it off, like, haha, Kirk's being nosy again. Do you know how that man always has one eye on his wife and the other on everyone else's pockets? But after a while, it got weird. Too weird. Allegedly asked for an edited video of the scenes Mendy was in. He asked Raphael for what? Who knows? Perhaps he was attempting to decipher body language like a reality TV forensic scientist. Or perhaps Kirk was attempting to figure out how Mendeecees manages to stay booked, relevant, and scandal-free. The shade speaks for itself. But this is where things get messy. According to an anonymous crew member, Kirk complained to one of the show's producers. "I don't understand how y'all keep bringing him on here, like he's a legend or something. What is he actually done other than receive a beard upgrade and return from prison?" Phew, now, that's not just petty. It's pressed. Real people know that Kirk Frost is no stranger to messing up. This is the same Kirk who, while trying to manage his wife's music career like he's Clive Davis, had a full-fledged child outside of marriage and once told Rashida to take a paternity test as if she had just discovered the child at a Walmart clearance store while accusing Mendeecees of being irrelevant. "Sir, take several folding chairs." And when the rumors began to circulate that Kirk was quietly pocket-watching, hopping friends, and possibly even attempting to thwart Mendy's future LHATL spin-off deal, that's when the floodgates opened. Tired of the passive-aggressive energy, Mendy decided to break the silence. It's always the ones with nothing to say to your face but everything to say behind the scenes. He wrote in an Instagram story that has since been removed. "It is a disease to be obsessed. Ask for assistance." Bam! The internet lost its mind. Bloggers immediately grabbed screenshots. Twitter went feral. YouTube commentators were already halfway into their thumbnails, and Kirk, not a peep. That man stayed quiet, just reposting inspirational quotes on Instagram, like, "Let God fight your battles, boy, please." But hold on, we're not done yet. Even more piping hot tea was revealed by another cast member, who will not be named, but you know who we're talking about. Kirk allegedly asked the group at a private pre-production dinner for the cast, why Mendeecees was receiving executive guest appearance rates when he hadn't been a main cast member for years. Now, stop. That's a man who knows your contract details. That's not curiosity. That's full-on obsession. And you want to know what's worse? According to sources, Kirk also attempted to involve Rashida, telling her to be on the lookout for how cozy Yandy's has been with production lately. As if Yandy is some Machiavellian villain planning to steal their spa and replace Frost Bistro with Harris Grill. Let's be honest, what exactly is Kirk so afraid of? Influence his ability to land a new show. The fact that VH1 now views Mendeecees as more family-friendly than Mr. Frosted Tips himself. Or perhaps this isn't even about Mendeecees. Perhaps Kirk's obsession is rooted in something deeper, something that even his own castmates find troubling. Because here's the thing that no one is talking about. Kirk has been losing control of his narrative. For years, Kirk Frost was the center of scandals. He was the chaos, the person we love to hate. However, the focus is now changing. The drama is being carried by the newer cast members, Bambi, Spice, and Sierra, while the veterans are either redefining themselves or becoming background furniture. Doso's old reality villain crown is rusting, and he doesn't like it. Let's call it insecurity disguised as obsession. It didn't help when fans began comparing the two. One user wrote on Twitter, "Kirk Frost is out here spying like he's trying to do a Netflix doc on Mendy. Keep Rashida in mind, sir." Another person added, "Mendy. He is in love with Kirk, and he glows up. Without comparison, it is impossible. To compete, cruel. But right when you think it's at its worst." Oh no, the rabbit hole gets deeper because, according to leaked emails purportedly sent by a VH1 producer during season 13 planning, he listed internal objections to a particular crossover episode. You guessed it, Kirk Frost. He wrote, "Bringing Mendeecees onto the ATL version could confuse audience loyalty, according to the leak. Combining properties doesn't necessarily improve the plot of our show, which has its own individuality." Translation: I don't want him on my show. However, you see, this is now about ego and not envy, legacy and relevance. If we know anything about men like Kirk, they don't just spiral, but sabotage when they feel that power slipping. Now, that would have been bad enough. But where we pick up in part 2, things go from petty sniping to a full-blown investigation because, baby, someone inside VH1 allegedly took surveillance footage from an off-camera trailer. Let's just say that obsession might be the polite word. Now, let's get into the really juicy part, where this whole obsession claim takes a sharp left turn into the realm of the ridiculous, the shady, and the downright scandalous. Chilly, the receipts started flying, and so apparently, Kirk Frost has been showing up in places that raised more than a few eyebrows. Insiders close to Mendy say, "Yo, Kirk be showing up at events he isn't even invited to just to see what Mendy is doing." The people who are said to have been in the inner circle for years are saying that this isn't some random made-up beef. For example, he was stationed close to the green room, observing the game while standing there and not even speaking to anyone. And let's not pretend that this behavior is new. If you've watched Love and Hip Hop long enough, you already know that Kirk's past isn't exactly spotless. This is the same man who allegedly got a side chick pregnant, lied to Rashida, had a whole secret apartment, and then attempted to deceive everyone into thinking he was the victim. If we were to compile all of Kirk's mess into a single documentary, it would require a 3-part Netflix special with Monique as the narrator. But back to this mess. Following Mendeecees' statement going viral, fans began doing what they do best, and what they discovered will have you clutching your pearls. It turns out that Kirk has been enjoying old pictures of men from years ago. We're talking about Throwback Thursday selfies, behind-the-scenes photos from jail visits, and even images from when Yandy Smith posted anniversary tributes. And that's not all. One superfan created an entire thread on Twitter that showcased timestamps of Kirk's social media activity. And guess what? Kirk's name appears in the likes, views, and occasionally the comments whenever Mendy posts a life update. One admirer said, "This man watching Mendy looks like he's the season finale of Power." Let's also talk about the now famous burner account situation. An anonymous source claimed that the burner account was linked to an IP address registered in, Kirk Frost's name. Of course, Kirk denied this, told everyone it was a coincidence, and accused Mendy of being tipped off by someone on his team that a fake Instagram account kept tagging him in random posts and stories. Nothing too crazy, just strange things like the real kings move in silence, or some of you trying too hard to be him. This man got a wife, a business, and a reality show, and still got time to stalk Mendy anonymously. One remark said, indicating that fans weren't believing it. Seek assistance. And what about the purported voicemail leak? Lord have mercy. Rumor has it that someone leaked a clip of a voicemail purportedly from Kirk's phone in which he was heard discussing how some people were lucky, how they were given a storyline, and how some guys were acting like they were kings of Harlem when they were actually just reality show criminals. Who else would that be directed at besides Mendeecees? The fandom exploded. Safri wrote under a blog post, "I don't know what's going on, but this beef is hilarious." Tokyo Vanity tweeted, "If y'all men don't stop being messy and go raise your kids." But wait, it gets worse, because not only was Kirk allegedly keeping tabs on Mendy's every move, he was also apparently getting real shady behind closed doors. Started trending Kirk and Mendeecees isn't checking for you. Even other reality stars began voicing their opinions. According to rumors, Kirk presented a complete plot regarding mentor-mentee conflict in the hip-hop scene, and how some guys fabricate their background to appear a little frosty. During a closed production meeting for the next season of Love and Hip Hop, the indirects were heavy. Mendy observes that he played it largely cool. "Man, I don't have time for all that. I got a wife, kids, and multiple businesses. Anybody worried about me? They must be real bored." In response to a podcast question about the ongoing mess, he simply laughed and said, "But that Loki shade, sharp as a knife." And y'all, let's not act like this is just some random person's spit, because behind all this drama is a bigger question, a way deeper, darker, messier issue that nobody really wants to say out loud. But everyone is thinking, what kind of man dedicates this much energy toward another man's life? Like, really? Fans are beginning to speculate. It's not even about jealousy or competition. Some are speculating that perhaps Kirk sees something in Mendy that reminds him of who he wanted to be, a respected family man. A bad boy who was redeemed, a street leader who became legitimate. After all, when was the last time Kirk was in the news for anything other than cheating on Rashida or getting dragged on Twitter? And speaking of Rashida, where is she in all of this? According to a close friend, she told Kirk, "If you spent half as much time checking on our finances as you do on that man's Instagram, we'd be billionaires by now." Yandandi even had to intervene. He said on Instagram, "I don't know why people are so pressed about my husband." She said, "Live in response to the rumors. We're doing all okay. We don't care." And prayer, not attention, is what any mature man who is thus committed in another grown man needs. We have a whole social media trail of suspicious activity, an alleged burner account, leaked voicemails, shady production pitches, and a man who may or may not be the source of the controversy. Kirk responded by posting a cryptic message, and She isn't lying, but this only fueled the fire. Only fools believe everything they hear. I have more important things to handle. Stay tuned because in part 3, we're breaking down the fallout, the legal threats, and the moment Rashida had to pull her man aside and ask him directly, "Why are you so obsessed with him?" The crazy part is that this story isn't even over, because what comes next will take this whole mess to a place even we didn't expect. And just when you thought it couldn't get any more crazy, here comes the production crew with tea that'll make you do a double take. Just when you thought that this dispute couldn't get any worse. Grab your sage and call your therapist, because this fiasco has just gone from reality TV drama to full-fledged psychological warfare. Trust me, this isn't the end. The drama is only getting warmed up. Let's be clear. After all the rumors, anonymous direct messages, and dubious social media posts, Mendy is boldly declaring that Kirk Frost is completely obsessed with him. And not just on some rivalry stuff. We're talking about observing his every move, copying his business endeavors, inadvertently attending the same parties, and even liking posts that he knows are about Mendeecees. Coincidence? BB, please. Sources close to the situation say Mendeecees has receipts, not just ambiguous text messages. We're talking about screenshots, timestamps, and voice notes from people who claim Kirk has been inquiring about his private affairs, including who he's doing business with, how much he's getting paid, and even how he co-parents his children. At this point, people on the internet are referring to Kirk as Inspector Frost because it appears that he is snooping more than a TMZ field agent during awards season. You would think that Rashida would be the one in his Google search history, but it is actually Mendeecees, and fans aren't letting it go. And let's not forget the viral tweet that went viral last night. Kirk Frost's attempt to transform himself into Mendy looks like he's unlocking a new love and hip-hop character. The internet is unbeatable. But this is where things get really sinister. An insider who used to work for one of Kirk's production side projects claims that there is a file. Yes, a folder on Kirk's office laptop called MN Playbook, along with inside notes about branding, deals, talking points, and timelines that suspiciously mirror Mendy's career moves over the past 3. We won't pretend he hasn't thrown a little shade of his own, but Kirk isn't exactly innocent either. Remember that interview where he said, "It's weird when grown men keep my name in their mouth more than their own wives"? Is this admiration or just plain imitation? It was a verbal left hook with glitter, not subliminal chili. But instead of defending himself and responding to the accusations like a responsible adult, Kirk goes live on Instagram 3 times, and each time it gets messier. In the first live, he claims that what Mendy sees is unimportant, and the comment sections were ablaze as he said, "If he's irrelevant, why are you addressing him at M with a ring light and edge control on your sideburns?" In the second live, he said that people are trying to slander his brand because they are envious of his hustle. In the third live, he unintentionally played a voicemail in which someone was discussing a conversation with Yandandi, seemingly to incite drama between Mendy and his wife. Sir, please. And they have a point. Now, the real narrative twist begins. It seems that VH1 executives have learned about this rivalry and are considering making it into a full-fledged spin-off. That's right, Love and Hip Hop. Thank You meets Catfish, but with baby mamas, Bentleys, and bad contracts. The plot revolves around Kirk's attempt to mend his image while surreptitiously trying to ruin Mendy's next business launch. Meanwhile, Mendeecees is reportedly filming his own documentary exposing industry clout chasers. And guess who's blurred out in every scene? Mr. Frost himself. Fans are consuming it. File-level breakdowns of timestamps, outfit choices, and mutual followers are all over Twitter, with people making connections between Instagram stories and background decor like they're solving a crime. One thread even asserted that the 2 men were wearing the same exact cologne to a press event last year, and it wasn't a coincidence. Let's face it, this isn't just petty drama anymore. It's an identity crisis. People are wondering if Kirk has been trying to reinvent himself all along by riding the coattails of any man with charisma, clout, and a cleaner record than his own. If Mendy is correct, then this obsession is real, and what we're seeing isn't just drama. It's a whole career built on copy and paste culture. Speaking of culture, members of the hip-hop community are beginning to take sides. One prominent reality TV therapist commented on TikTok, "This level of obsession is either envy, admiration, or unresolved childhood trauma." You are all aware of what that implies. The next thing to be filmed for ratings could be therapy sessions. Fans aren't buying it, even though Rashida is out there tweeting selfies with captions like "Unbothered Queen." Speaking of cleanups, Mendy's legal team is reportedly now engaged. One reader said, "Sis, blink twice if you need help because..." No. Matter how calm she looks, everybody knows when Kirk is in some mess. Rashida is forced to clean it up eventually. Rumor has it that cease and desist letters are being prepared because Kirk allegedly attempted to contact Mendy's business partners by pretending to be a possible investor, not because of defamation. Please pardon me if that proves to be accurate. This is not longer amusing. Fans are calling for accountability since that is low-key harassment, boundary crossing, and manipulation. Let's be honest though, you are all aware of the conclusion of this tale. The game is that either Kirk and Mendeecees will be seen hugging it out on the red carpet next year as if nothing occurred. Or VH1 will bundle this drama into a multi-episode program to boost viewers, make money off of the confusion, manufacture the mess, and keep the audience guessing. One thing is certain though, this story is about more than simply obsession. Identity, rivalry, ego, and the extent men will go to in order to remain relevant, when the limelight begins to fade, are all at play here. You now have the upper hand at Kirk. You are able to. You may continue to dig the hole deeper with more dubious lives and deceptive quotes. Or you can acknowledge that you've been watching Mendy as if he were a current subject. In any case, the obsession has been revealed, and Mendy realizes that he is not playing or hiding. And since obsession is loud, you can bet that the entire industry will be feeling it soon if his next move is anything like this one. However, retaliation is calculated and will come. Folks, there you have it. You thought that hip-hop and love couldn't get any messier. Mendy discovers that Kirk, Frost, and Harris delivered the season's biggest storyline twist. We have enough. Behind-the-scenes shadow, industry jealousy, covert meetings, obsession, and silent surveillance to keep the whole skyline of Atlanta. What comes next is the question today. Will Kirk clap back with his own receipts? Is Mendy merely stirring things up to get some much-needed attention? Or are we witnessing the start of a full-fledged conflict that reveals yet more cast connections, secrets, and betrayals? Really, why was Kirk Frost supposedly following Mendy about? Watching his every action as if he were filming an undercover documentary? What is actually going on between these two? And what else has Kirk been surreptitiously observing, imitating, or attempting to control behind closed doors if Mendy believes he is speaking the truth? We require answers. You already know that the internet is going to blow up. When more tea pours, don't sit there then. Tell us now by jumping in the comments. Do you think Mendy can see? Is Kirk truly enamored? Or is this just a crazy pursuit for love and hip-hop influence? What other people do you believe Kirk might be surreptitiously observing? If drama is your thing, hit the like button. Turn on those alerts and subscribe so you don't miss another scandal, because this story isn't finished yet. By no means. There will undoubtedly be more receipts, more falsehoods, and more secrets in the future. Keep an eye out.